Republicans know that to stay in power, they need to make it harder for all Americans to participate in the democratic process. Justice Ginsburg may have been tiny, but she stands among the greatest fighters for justice our nation has ever seen. She turned every barrier into an opportunity for change. And when she became the second woman in our nation's history to sit on the Supreme Court, she continued her fight for justice, blazing a trail for women's rights, laying out the framework for protecting our democracy, and helping to secure justice for the most vulnerable. Ruth Bader Ginsburg changed the world, and I will miss her. Ruth Bader Ginsburg voted to protect the health care for millions of Americans. In a 5-4 decision, health care was saved for millions of people. But in the midst of a global pandemic with more than 200,000 of our loved ones dead from a virus raging out of control, Mitch McConnell and Senate Republicans want to install a justice who will rip that health care away. The Supreme Court will hear arguments just days after the election on whether the Affordable Care Act should be overturned. If Justice Ginsburg is replaced with a McConnell-Trump choice, the 5-4 decision that saved health care by a single vote could be overturned. That would strip away protection from anyone with pre-existing conditions. It would tell people with diabetes or high blood pressure or cancer, people who have had strokes, people who have had hundreds of other diseases, conditions, and events, you're on your own. No protection from an insurance company that just wants to cut off your insurance policies. It would let insurance companies charge women more simply because they're women. It would end the requirement that insurance companies cover young people up to the age of 26. It would gut Medicaid. And if you are one of the millions of Americans who has had COVID and survived, well, gutting the ACA would allow insurance companies to deny coverage because of it. COVID could become your pre-existing condition. 3 years ago, Mitch McConnell couldn't get the votes to repeal the Affordable Care Act, even in his own Republican-controlled Senate. And why? Because this is not what the American people want. They want access to health care and protection for people with pre-existing conditions. But Mitch McConnell and Donald Trump have a plan B, a plan to advance their right-wing agenda, even if most Americans don't want it. And McConnell and Trump seem to think that if they can steal another Supreme Court seat, they will get it. And there is more at stake. Ruth Bader Ginsburg voted to protect the rights of all women to make their own decisions about their bodies. 19 states now stand ready to gut abortion protections if the Supreme Court overturns Roe. And now, Senator McConnell and Senate Republicans want to hand them one more justice so they can get the job done. Ruth Bader Ginsburg also voted over and over for the principle that American citizens should have an equal right to vote and an equal voice in our democracy. As the pandemic continues to sweep the nation, the Supreme Court has blocked attempts to make it easier for Americans to safely cast their vote. Republicans know that to stay in power, they need to make it harder for all Americans to participate in the democratic process, and they want a Supreme Court justice who will be committed to rolling back voting rights for decades to come. Today, Ruth is gone, but her life's work endures. We will honor her with action and channel our grief into change. We are at the cusp of a brighter day in our nation, and this is the moment. We must tap into the reserves that we didn't know we had. We tap into the reserves bequeathed to us from fighters we've recently lost, like Justice Ginsburg, and Congressman Elijah Cummings, and Congressman John Lewis, and from the knowledge that we will not leave our children worse off. Ruthie, we will miss you.